Hello and namaste, my name is Nidhi Nagori and welcome back to my channel. I have been getting a lot of requests around Australia, especially since Australia has opened up. And I've also been seeing a lot of people on LinkedIn posting updates about moving to Australia on visa sponsorship opportunities. Now, I know that the request that I've been getting mostly is around PR, but I do want to say that visa sponsorship is a possibility in Australia. And in today's video, I'm here to prove it to you that you can get a visa sponsorship opportunity in Australia. So today we're going to be talking about the land down under. Now, if you are somebody who's kept Australia on your radar, I'm pretty sure you'll find a lot of info in this video. So make sure that you stick around. Alrighty, so I'm dividing this video into 3 segments. In the first segment, we'll talk about how you can get a list of visa sponsors in Australia, so how you can get that entire list, how we got that entire list. In the second segment, we'll talk about the websites that you should be targeting. Now, these are obviously limited in number because I don't want to overwhelm you. I've done my research and I've come up with a limited number of websites that you should be targeting, at least to begin with. And in the third segment, we'll talk about some of the practical aspects that you need to keep in mind when you're applying for visa sponsorship opportunities, especially in a country like Australia. So let's get some dhol nagare, some good background music, some energetic motivation all around us, and bring on the Australia plan. I'm jumping into segment number 1, which is getting a list of visa sponsors in Australia. If you follow me on Instagram or LinkedIn, you know that I post about various sponsors in different countries. So you have countries like UK, you have countries like Netherlands, where the government openly posts a list of sponsors. Now, what do I mean by a list of sponsors? In simple words, these are companies that have a license to sponsor visas. Of course, each country does it differently. UK has a list of 31,000 such companies. Netherlands is smaller, so it has a list of 8,000 such companies. But these lists do exist, and you can use these lists to then target these employers, and you can go and apply on their career portal. Australia, for some reason, being an immigrant-friendly country, still does not choose to disclose this data publicly. So how did we get a hang of visa sponsors in Australia? So just like India has the RTI, which is Right to Information Act, Australia also has Right to Know, which is something very similar. You can go and ask the government a question on an information that should be publicly available if it matters to the public. That's what this very smart person on the internet did. So he basically went in, put in an application to get a list of visa sponsors in Australia under the Right to Know stipulation. Obviously, the government could not deny his request, and that's how we got our hands on this amazing list. I know that this list is accurate and correct because you can see it actually came from the government, and it houses more than 5,000 companies in Australia that can sponsor you a visa. If you check the description of the link itself, or if you go onto the website, you'll realize that this actually comes from the government. It comes from righttoknow.au. So obviously this information is accurate. It's come from the government, and this is our step number 1. We've already got a list of companies that can sponsor us a visa in Australia. Now keep in mind, there's always going to be some variation, some plus and minus with this list. This list only came about because somebody filed a petition months ago, and the government is not required to update this list on an ongoing basis under any regulation. Like I already said, this is very different from UK or Netherlands because these countries go on and update their lists regularly. Which reminds me that if you want that list for UK and Netherlands, you should totally check out my UK and Netherlands video. I'll link them up here so you can go and watch them and get the link from the description box. Alright, now let's take a flight back to Australia and let's talk about how we can use this list. So I've already gotten this list. I know which companies can possibly sponsor me a visa. So how do I go about finding jobs? So there are 2 ways to do it. One is targeting portals, which I'm going to talk about. And the second is going on the career portals of these companies that you see on the list and applying for jobs that you like. Of course, this is going to take a lot of time, but if you are serious about it, you can totally do this. I'm going to now talk about the number 2, the portals that I mentioned. So there are 3 portals that I'm going to recommend in terms of job seeking. The first one being seek.au. Honestly, this is my favorite website. I always go to this website anytime I am thinking about Australia. Anytime I do my content research, I always go to seek.au. And then I go in there and the keyword, I type visa sponsorship, just like you see up on the screen. And then I see a variety of jobs that come up. Seek.au houses a lot of jobs in Australia. Most of the jobs that are available publicly are housed on seek.au. And once you put the keyword in, like visa sponsorship in, it filters out all the visa sponsorship opportunities. As of today that I'm filming this video, I can see 2241, which is 2241 jobs that are available for visa sponsorship. Now this number will go up and down depending on when you are looking at this video and when you are doing this search. But irrespective of your timeline, seek.au is an amazing website and something you should totally bookmark if you are considering Australia. The second website that I recommend is AustraliansSkilledMigration.com. This has way lesser jobs as compared to seek.au, but again, it has a variety of visa sponsorship opportunities, and again, something that you should totally bookmark if you're considering Australia. And now coming to the third and final portal. This one is a standard, something that you can use in any country, and this one is LinkedIn. Now, I'm sure you're wondering, LinkedIn, do you really find visa sponsorship opportunities? Trust me, you do. All that you need to do is make use of some smart filters, which we've covered extensively in our LinkedIn masterclass. So if you need help around that, please make sure that you check the description box. I'll leave the link for the LinkedIn masterclass. You can go and check that masterclass out. We talk a lot about LinkedIn and about how you can use it to get international opportunities. So there are some smart and cool ways of filtering around LinkedIn. That's exactly what I did. And I came across a variety of opportunities in Australia. This one particularly is from Deloitte. As you can see, they offer work sponsorship, they also offer relocation benefits, and they offer a variety of things. And this is entirely in my field without a lot of experience requirement. I mean, most people don't even consider finance to be in demand. If I can find visa sponsorship opportunities in an organization like Deloitte in a country like Australia, just by doing some cool filtering around LinkedIn, you, my friend, can do so much more. So in short, you just need some smart filtering techniques around LinkedIn and you can find a variety of opportunities like these which are open for visa sponsorship in Australia or actually in any other country. Now, if you are applying through LinkedIn or whichever platform you're applying through, just make sure that your resume, your CV, and your LinkedIn is completely done. If you're wondering how to get help from them, I have a free masterclass on CV and resume. I'm going to link it up here or I'm going to put it in the description box. It's completely free. Go check it out. Take the tips, build up your resume accordingly. And I'll also leave a link to the LinkedIn masterclass, which I think makes a lot of difference. We've had over 5,000 people take it and we've had stupendous reviews. So please make sure that you check both of these out. I'll leave all the links in the description box. All right, so now that we've spoken about our segment number 1, which is getting a list of visa sponsors in Australia, we've also spoken about segment number 2, which is which website should you target for Australia. Let's talk about segment number 3, which is what are the practical aspects that you need to keep in mind when applying for Australia. Now, I could go on and on with my lecturing, but I won't bore you with that. There's just one aspect that I want you to keep in mind, which is Australia has a tiered immigration system. So you have temporary visa, you have permanent visa, and then you have PR and citizenship. A lot of people get confounded or confused by the term temporary visa itself. Now, this temporary visa, which is the TTS, is subclass 482. The permanent visa is subclass 186. A lot of people think that the temporary visa is only for a short period of time and they will get thrown out of the country. First of all, that's not how it works. It does have a lot of restrictions in the sense that you can only work for a certain employer. It is restricted in terms of its timelines, but that timeline is not bad enough. As opposed to permanent sponsorship 186, which kind of gives you the right of a PR, so you don't really need an employer. You can basically change your employer whenever you want, and there aren't a lot of restrictions. Naturally, a lot of people prefer this, but employers do not because this involves a lot of legal liability and a lot of legal hassle. For example, it takes more money, it takes more effort on the immigration and the legal department. It also takes more effort to prove to the government that there is nobody in Australia that's available to get that role, and it has a lot of paperwork and back and forth involved with the government, as opposed to the temporary visa, which is way easier than the permanent visa. So when you are targeting a visa in Australia, please make sure that you target the temporary visa instead of the permanent visa. Obviously, you will not get thrown out of Australia because there is a pathway for you to self-apply for a permanent visa. So you can convert your 482 to a 186 on your own. There are a few criteria on that, but it is a super simple process and it is totally doable. I personally know a lot of people who've done that, and that's why I'm coming up with this suggestion. Now, if you're wondering what are the requirements to be eligible for the temporary visa, you need 2 years of work ex and you need to make sure that your occupation falls in the skill shortage list. Now, this is just one practical aspect of applying for visa sponsorship opportunities in Australia. There are a lot of such practical things to know. And these are things that I'm building up in my course. So very soon you'll see an Australia masterclass come up. We're going to get mentors from Australia who've gotten visa sponsorships. We'll get people who've moved to Australia on PR, temp visa, permanent visa. We'll do all of that drill. That's something that's in works. Make sure you follow www.nidhinagori.com, sign up for our newsletters, read our blogs. There are a lot of free courses. There's also a free job database that you can use. It's for Middle East jobs, so if you're applying for jobs in Middle East, it's totally free. Go sign up on it so you can stay updated. That's also where we have the LinkedIn Masterclass and the CV Resume Masterclass. I'll leave all the links in the description box. I hope that this video was helpful to you. Obviously, don't forget to follow me on Instagram because I post reels almost every day and most of them are very, very informative. Let me know in the comments what else would you like to see on my channel. If there's any other question related to Australia, please put them down in the comment boxes below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification on, like this video, share it with a friend. Make me happy, please. I promise to see you in the next video. Until then, please make sure you take care of yourself. Stay safe. Namaste.